right, ladies and gentlemen, on the guest list today, we have the frontman for the band The Revivalists coming straight out of New Orleans, Louisiana. We have David Shaw with us today. David, thank you for being here, my man.
Thanks for having me, you guys. It's a pleasure.
The pleasure's all on our part, dude. We like to start out right away with a question. And realistically, what I want to do today, I want to
start with the juicy stuff.
This is juicy, actually. This is good.
Good.
So I want you to close your eyes and put yourself in this situation. The year is 2015. The Revivalists are on tour in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's at the Theater of Living Arts on South Street. You guys are playing with Red, Wanting Blue and some scrub opening band. You're backstage. You're in a small room filled with weed smoke and Chinese food. You're sitting on top of a laundry machine, and some goofy 24-year-old idiot opens the door, awkwardly apologizes, slams it, and runs away. Do you know who that person was?
Was it you?
It was me. It was
yes!
me. We opened for you guys. It was one of our first big shows at the Theater of Living Arts in Philadelphia, opening for the Revivalists and Red, Wanting Blue. And I was looking for the bathroom, and I went to go open this door, and you were sitting on top of a laundry machine eating Chinese food with sunglasses on. And I was like, sorry, my bad. I ran back to the green room, and I was like, dude, I just fucking barged in on these guys. I feel like an asshole. So,
dude, you could have came in and ate some of my Chinese with me, man.
I believe that too.
Kind of dude I am.
Bro, you guys were wonderful too. Like, we were hanging out before the show with your saxophone player and one of your guitar players. We talked for like 20 minutes. You guys tore the house down that night. And I just wanted to say thank you for the hospitality. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. You know, we learned pretty early on how just it's important to just, you know, some bands we've gone out with and they just were not cool to us. You know, I will never name names. But like, we just realized how that made us feel. And it's just, who wants to be that way anyway, like regardless of anything. But like, so we always made it a point, like, just be cool. Just be cool. Don't be a dick.
That
prerequisite.
Bro.
Prerequisite.
100%.
Don't be an asshole. That's the only mantra you got to live by. DBA.
Seriously.
Don't be an asshole. That's all you got. It's a conscious decision too.
Yes, exactly. The thing is, it causes you more pain.
100%.
It causes you more pain, and it's. I mean, if it could be even a selfish thing, you know, because it's like if you're being that way, you're just setting yourself up for more pain and more suffering and all that stuff. So
now on that note where we weren't going to name names for bands that were rude that you guys have been with, is there anybody that stands out to you that you guys have been on the road with that were just overly hospitable? You guys were just like, wow, these guys, for as big as they are, were so cool.
Well, I will say Rebirth was cool. Rebirth and Galactic is kind of like our big brother band from New Orleans. Let's see here. Who else? I mean, I got to give it up to Government Mule.
Oh,
Warren Haynes.
Building. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were always just like, I mean, he'd bring us up on stage, at the end of the show, just kind of like just showing love, because he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? We were just this little band at the time. And
bros, I saw you guys open for Galactic in Philadelphia at the Electric Factory. My brother-in-law has family in New Orleans, so he's always been a huge fan of yours. So we go to see Galactic, and this was after we had already opened for you guys. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I know them. They're cool. They're good guys. So, but I remember specifically you getting called up for the encore for that show, and you guys did like a 10-minute version of All Along the Watchtower, and you were in the crowd.
Oh,
you're an animal, dude. You're an animal on stage.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was right around the time where I think I did a tour with them right around that time too, or like that was like the prerequisite for that tour. But yeah, oh my God, that was a song that, oh man, it turned into a journey every time.
Shouts out to Galactic. Stewart is one of the greatest drummers of all time. So I just want to put that out there.
Right.
I want to say, I want to say this too. So when we played with you, it was about like 2 years before Wish I Knew You blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the way, because at the time you guys weren't even where you were when we had played with you, and you guys have been grinding for like 10 years before Wish I Knew You blew up.
Yeah.
What was that like to have gone through the rigors of, touring and trying to get shit out there? And then all of a sudden this happens and snap of a finger, your whole life has changed.
It was jarring, but also I think it wasn't as jarring as it can be for some people because we had just been doing it. So it was like it was like we went through our long incubation period, and then when the thing hit, it was like, well, shit. We know what to do with all these people. We've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Some bands they have that lightning out the bottle right away, and you get them on stage, and it's like, oh boy, we got some work to do. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like the fact that you did have to go through all that in the lead up really prepared you for it? Or
I think so.
Do you think you appreciated it more because of what you had gone through to get there?
Both, absolutely, man. We played every nook and cranny on, from the top of Maine to the bottom, of California to the bottom of Florida to Key West. We haven't played Omaha. We haven't played anywhere, but there's a few places we haven't really played. But
flyover Midwest states.
What's up?
I was just saying the flyover Midwest states.
Yeah, we haven't played that. I'll tell you where we have played a lot though is Ohio because I'm from there. So we.
How'd you wind up in New Orleans? How'd you wind up in New Orleans?
It was 2007. I had just graduated college. I was like, man, I think I'm gonna try to pursue music. It was like that was the point. It was like, I'm either gonna do this or I'm not. And I just kind of had some newfound confidence. So I was like, you know what, let's do this. And so my girlfriend at the time had a roommate from college who moved to New Orleans. She needed some roommates, and we went down to visit. And we basically, we left, but we basically never left. When we came to visit. So
fell in love, dude. And New Orleans has that effect, by the way. Like you go to New Orleans and instantaneously, everybody who goes there is like, I could get an apartment here. I think I could stay here forever.
Absolutely. It's so charming. It is so culturally thick, musically, spiritually. It's really everything. And it's one of those places where, like, if I ever did think about like moving somewhere, I just don't even know where I would go because like we've been all over the place, and every place has got its cool little, things about it. But there's something about New Orleans that just gets in you and just like, it's tough. It's tough to leave this place.
Well, I mean, on that note, I'm very invested in Philadelphia. It's who I am and it's who the band is. Dave is Dave's financially invested in the city of Chicago.
I have to be in Chicago legally. Like I'm actually obligated to be here. But I was gonna actually, I
love Chicago, by the way. Chicago,
great.
If I'm gonna tell you, if there was any other city that I would live in, it would be Chicago.
Ooh.
It's
straight up.
I love it, but it's got its warts. There's a lot I don't like about it. But I don't know. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I can. Like I'm reading up on you guys. Obviously, you guys are fucking world famous now, but I'm reading up and just like getting basically the spark notes, the cliff notes on Wikipedia. You and Zach Feinberg met riding bikes in New York City. Like I feel like
not in New York City, in New Orleans.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I was sitting playing. Let's see. Do I have the guitar in here that I was playing? No, it's in the shop. I was sitting on my front porch singing and playing a song that actually ended up on our Vital Signs album, a song called Purple Heart. Yeah, he stopped. He stopped and I stopped, and he was like, no, he's like, dude, just keep singing. He was like, I stopped for a reason, And I was like, all right, I'll here we go. I'm gonna do the performance, It was cool. So I did that, and then we just struck up a conversation. He picked up the guitar and played some Mississippi John Hurt, like some Candyman stuff.
Let's go.
Like, so yeah, and then we, then here we are.
History.
We are, yeah. It's so funny to me, like those backstories where, like, if you weren't playing your exact, like, afternoon routine on your front porch,
exactly,
riding his bike a different route home, you would be just some schmuck right now, like working.
I know.
In,
Seriously. Seriously, it's crazy. And I look at Zach has also shown up in other times in my life where it was like, holy shit, dude, there's something going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's it's wild. Like and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too far because it gets a little dark and a little scary. But but honestly, man, like there's something going on. Something going on in the stars, in the ether, in the spirits,
ether, bro.
Whatever, man. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's
the reason I love hearing you say that, even earlier in the conversation when you were talking about, bands that get on right away, or like the industry kind of bands that, like, they've been put together in Los Angeles in a test tube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
I'm always attracted to the band because it's my story as well. I met Ken, our bass player. We lived in dorm rooms next to each other, and we just became best friends. Erica, me and her were waiting tables together, and she was listening to Otis Redding on her headphones. That's how we met. I have a love affair with the story behind bands, especially when it's something like you guys.
It's important. I think it's important, and when it turns into kind of like part of just like the folklore of the band, it's cool. It's good. Some bands, they don't have like a story like that, which I think it's special. It's definitely special.
I mean, we've talked so much about the Revivalists so far, but we need to go into the new album. So it's the debut self-titled album.
Yes, sir.
I've listened. So I actually found out about this before we had reached out. I was listening to World Cafe. I'm in the place where World Cafe is broadcast from. And I was listening. I didn't catch the intro, and I just heard, and I was like, is this fucking David Shaw? And I was like, this is awesome. And I've gone through everything. I've gone through everything that's been released thus far. Got me feeling good. Got me feeling good. For one, is just an outstanding song. But two, can you explain the music video, please?
Dude, oh my God. Dude. So I've been a skateboarder. I've been a rollerblader. I've been a roller skater. I've always had a passion for doing that. One of those things I was always doing at some point. And during COVID, I got I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a pair of skates. I'm gonna get back out there and just have some fun, And one day I was out there, and this guy who we actually had worked with in the past on, he came out and did some New Year's stuff with us. His name's Bobby Bonzi. He was skating, and he was just like killing it. I was just like, oh my God, this dude is like break dancing. I mean, he was like popping and locking and just like putting all the moves on. And I had no idea that he was also like a skater. And just like, so, I mean, he's just one of those people that's talented in a million different ways. Mm-hmm. And he could surprise you at any moment. You know what I'm saying? You know those people, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, where did this come from, dude? I didn't know you could do this, So I went away from that. I went away that afternoon thinking like, and I was, it was kind of right around the time where I was trying to think of like, okay, what do I want to do for this music video? Like, because that can be a thing. It's like music videos can be like, oh man, I don't know about this, or it could be amazing, So It was one of those like, it's like, and then it just kind of dawned on me, and I was like, oh my God, Bobby, this is the thing. Once again, I gotta, you gotta go where life kind of takes you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of like keep your intuition, like listen to that little thing, because sometimes you just be going and you keep your head down and you just miss a lot of shit.
Yep. You
know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful that I was tuned in that day to realize that like, holy shit, like this is a thing. Like let's do this. Like let's cast Bobby in this video, because just watching him made me feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then it just kind of like morphed into this thing when he came to kind of like show us what he could do and how he wanted to do it. He brought a friend, which was Slick, who was the guy who was his partner in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time we're like figuring it out. I'm like, I'm like telling the director and the guys, I'm like, guys, like I don't need to be in this video. Like, I know this is my video, whatever. Like, but like, it wasn't about me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I was like, I want to focus on you guys. But I was like, if you guys think I should be in this video, and we come to that, I don't know, get me. It was almost like a joke. I was like, I'll be up on a horse and I'll be playing my guitar. And the director was like, I love that. Can you make that happen? I was like, I don't fucking know. That was a joke.
Where do I get a fucking horse from?
We're gonna get a horse from, like, especially like down where we were. It was just like we were, And so luckily, I mean, I just ended up. I said something to my manager, and he hit some people up, and then we got our boy Keenan Jupiter. I forget the name of like he's associated with a group of writers in the city. I should know the Iron Horse. Shit. Well, I'm blanking on the name, but Keenan Jupiter is his name, and the horse is named Loyalty. So he really came through, man. It was such a sweet horse. So there's that.
Hey, this song's outstanding too, by the way. Yeah, there's a story behind everything.
Yeah. What is there a story behind the song? What'd you say?
Well, is there? What's the story behind the song?
No, well, it's kind of just one of those tunes, man, so it came to me at different times, and then it all kind of formulated when I was doing a writing session with my guy, Dave Bassett in Malibu, and had all these little pieces. I don't know if do you write, my man?
I write,
you write
yes.
the songs?
Yes,
you
sir.
write the songs. So how a song can be, you'll have like a piece, you'll have the verse.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be like, all right, like, I don't know exactly what this is. With this tune, I had a lot of the music, basically just like the chord structure, and some of the hooks in the chorus. I had the All Night Long thing, and they got me feeling good. But I had this completely other song that I was like working around with. And then I just had this like lightning bolt moment, or was like, these go together in this certain kind of way. So it was one of those tunes that just kind of slowly found its place. Yeah.
I love a good songwriting story. I love a good session story. Because Dave, you have no idea.
I don't.
A songwriter's phone with the notes and either a notepad, whatever, what you hear is the final version of a song 98% of the time is a bastardized version and a smushed together version of 4 different songs.
Yes, I do that all the time. Most of the time, I'm pulling from it's basically like a revolving door from my past to my present. So I'm stealing from the things that I wrote in the past and putting the things that I wrote in the present. And it's like, the thing is, it works because I'm always kind of writing the same story, and it's always just coming from me. I don't know. It's just somehow it works. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Right.
But, just also, you probably know, just like by doing it, you just notice these patterns in your writing, and you're like, okay, yeah, like this little snippet here, that's for that. And then the puzzle starts.
What's your thing? Because I brought this up on a previous episode, but I've always been told by my producers in Nashville that when I write songs, I'm either going somewhere or coming home. Like there's always that storyline throughout what I'm writing. What's your thing? What's your like your thing that you're always harping on?
Oh, I feel like I've written a lot about just like personal pain. Honestly, that's been a thing, whether it be just like internal suffering of whatever kind of situation. But then honestly, I'll just say that this album was kind of like the answer to all of that stuff, where it was like, I realized that me going out and putting myself in the time that I wrote the song and the feeling that I had when I wrote that song was kind of not making me feel so great. Basically, it was becoming this like almost like sickness or some kind of thing. I can't explain it, man. It was weird. And so what I realized was I needed a break. I needed a little bit of a break. I needed to get some space, here and there. But then I realized, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to make an album that is basically like medicine for me. And hopefully that will resonate to the people who are listening, because there's got to be some kind of common denominator here.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that was basically, that's what this was. It was like, all right, I want this to be deep, but I want it to also be one of those albums that you can just put on and feel good. And the other thing about it was I needed it to be one of those things where I could, every song live, I wanted it to be like the energy at a Bob Marley concert.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, it just takes you up there. And you literally, you're just permagrin the whole time.
Hell
so
yeah.
that was the vibe.
Was this all predetermined prior to COVID, or was this a COVID creation? Was this a situation
This was
where
predetermined? Yeah,
Oh,
predetermined.
cool.
This
Hell
was 2020 was going to be basically the band was going to tour for most of 2020, and then we were going to take about a year off, give or take. And I was going to do this, and then we were going to get back in the studio and do the thing. That didn't really happen. You know what I'm saying?
The eternal cycle of road album, road album, road album.
Yeah. So now it's a little bit of like more of like a mixed kind of bag where like the band is going to do some road stuff. I'm going to do some road stuff, and we're kind of just going to weave it, in and out, which is cool too. Yeah.
I mean, dude, you guys, the Revivalists, yourself, and like just you as a person, you're road people. You guys are one of those 200 dates a year bands, and
not anymore.
Well, of course, yo, that's a thing too.
That shit got me, dude.
Kidding me?
Nice being at home, right?
I know
that fucking game, bro. Hell yeah,
you know that game.
It's
weird.
That game. That beginning part of quarantine, we came off the road because we were finishing up a run when quarantine started. And for that first period of time, it was almost kind of nice to be like, wow, I don't have to be anywhere. Or I don't even have that pressure of like, God, we need to book something big, or we need to, get in contact with the right people. And now I'm just like, I'm scratching at the walls. I want to get back out there.
Dude, you're speaking my language. That's exactly how I felt. At the beginning of COVID, I was just like high. I felt like I was just high from like I don't know. And I want to say that with like, very, be like very sensitive, because I know that it was a really terrible time for a lot of people,
Right.
So, but for me personally, it was actually it was good. It was a good thing for me, honestly, because we hadn't taken any breaks. We hadn't done this. We hadn't, it was just a forced break. And honestly, I feel like a time when now looking back, and realizing all the things that I've realized over this year about myself, because hell, this year was just like a full like class for me on self-care and self-realization and all that shit, because I had a lot of time just like sitting at home by myself, like out here in this studio, like, just like figuring it out.
I found that the beginning and like throughout quarantine, like, it's the first time I graduated college like January of 2015. Since then, that I've had a moment to actually sit with my own thoughts. Other than that, I've just been working my balls off. So like, from your perspective, what was it like for your mental health not to be able to tour? Like, was there ever a moment where you were like, God, I can't believe I can't do this right now? Or was this a situation where you took this completely on a positive note and you tried to figure more out about yourself?
I honestly, it was a positive for me, because it was a big recharge. I felt that I almost felt like that, like, looking back now, it was like my light was kind of dimming a bit. And now I feel like I'll be able to get out there and, give people the fully charged up version of David Shaw, as opposed to like the 68%, battery life kind of vibe, so like, now it's given me the clarity. This break has given me the clarity to realize like when that is occurring, because I was just so we call it the vortex. I was so locked into the vortex that nothing was gonna, break that cycle, and it's like my body also, our bodies are amazing. They'll fucking like, you're breaking down, but guess what? You're fucking going out there and you're feeling no pain. You know what I'm saying? You might feel like shit in the morning, but
you lay it all out there, dude. That's what you have to do.
Exactly.
It's nice for me, from my perspective, because when me and Dave started this podcast, and Dave has no background in the music industry
Nothing
at all. He loves music, but like he wanted to learn. And when I'm trying to explain to him what the past year has been like in different capacities for musicians, in the beginning when we weren't working with other people and having other musicians on, it was like kind of like I can't fully explain this. And then having someone like you come on, Dave, do you understand like what this shit is?
Like, I got so fucking lucky in many ways for my profession, but like you guys got gutted, man. And we talked about this a few weeks back. It's not just like the musicians that got gutted. There's a huge trickle down effect. Like the venues, the busboys venues, the people across the street from that sell coffee. You know,
exactly. You're so right, man.
Like, so I empathize, but I can't personally feel it because I'm the luckiest person on earth, I think. But like, fuck, man. But you used it as a positive, though. Like, you hit the reset button.
I really did. Because there's no. I'm just not the type of person to, look at my situation and go, well, shit. I'm down and I'm gonna stay down. Like it's just I gotta try to find that silver lining. And
I'm about to take notes. I'm about to take notes right now because it sounds like the beginnings of a good song. I have to be completely honest.
I was right there. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask too. Like after listening to a couple of the first singles, I thought that Heavy Soul felt like it could have been a Revivalist song. It felt like that to me was set up and produced a little bit more like a Revivalist song. And then I thought got me feeling good. Reminded me a lot of a G Love song, and I mean that in the most positive way possible because that's like
I love G Love.
What's different about this than a Revivalist record?
That's something that I've kind of asked myself, and I think there's some obvious similarities just because I'm the main songwriter in the band. Like, so there will be that, but I think really it was just like. The main thing for me was to be able to grow in a different way than a band culture kind of fosters. It was kind of like it was just like, all right, like, because it was always a question in my head. I'm a band guy through and through, but it was always like this like question that just kept coming up to me. Kept coming up, and call it my ego, call it whatever. It was there and it wasn't going away. You know what I'm saying? So, rather than, get past the point, in my physicality to where like, I'm like, I just can't even do it. I don't even want to do it, like I was like, I need to do this now, and figure it out, grow in ways that I need to grow, figure out like, man, is this something I love to do? Do I want to do more of this? Do I want to like really just like really keep it like a two-pronged thing, going forward? Like kind of like how like, I don't know, Trey does Trey Band and he has Fish and Jim James does My Morning Jacket has Jim James. Like I'm still finding all that out.
Of course.
This is like very much a learning process for me, but so I think there's some similarities there, but also like I've got a lot of love for like that, like West Coast music, like Sublime, and you just
talking Dave's language, bro.
You just had
so like
Buddy B on actually two episode drop.
Yeah. What I'm saying? So like there's a lot of that kind in there that our band doesn't really delve into that much. So there's that. And then also I'll just say that I do a lot of co-writing. I write by myself a lot, and I also do a lot of co-writing. And I don't want to I don't want to be bringing a ton of co-written songs into the Revivalists. It just doesn't feel like the identity of the band. A few here and there, cool. But like it's like the band has always kind of been more of a place for like that, like a song that I've written it just come fully from me, or a song's come fully from Zach, or you know what I'm saying, or Andrew. So like I had all these songs, you know, that I had written with other people, and it was just like, all right, like, you know, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna grow in other ways, and we'll see how it goes.
I mean, what I was wanted to get out of once you started talking was expressing part of yourself that you can't express in your band, because it's just like there is a vibe to one thing.
Exactly.
I know for myself, what I did, I went down to Nashville. I cut a solo EP that I haven't put out yet, but I worked in Nashville with some great session guys, and Foxtrot doesn't have these country-ish Americana elements, but I wanted to do it straight up. I want lap steels. I want shit like that. So it's really cool to hear the intention behind it.
Absolutely, man.
And I'm excited to hear what comes out of the record, dude, because I love your music. I love the Revivalists, and you're just a fucking you're an energy plant, bro. You have so much energy. You have so much to give.
Dude, thank you, man. I mean, this was I mean, shit. I was it's funny. I don't really smoke right now. I don't smoke. And today's 420, you know. It's kind of funny. So like this whole day, I've been like, you know, just like reminiscing on that. And so I don't know. I feel like a great energy, and I just think it's like I don't know. It's the energy of this date or something. I don't know, you know, like
you got the 420 vibes, bro. Dude, I know before no, after you, go ahead.
No, it's funny, man, because like all day I've just felt like really laid back, and I didn't even smoke today.
It's all residual, bro. It's all residual.
You know the band AWOL Nation?
Oh yeah.
So our co-host, he's not here right now. It's Kenny Carkeet of AWOL, formerly of AWOL Nation. He's not with them anymore, but I was texting Colin prior to the show hopping on. I'm like, hey, is he doing this interview? And he's like, no, it's 420. Like, don't even bother.
It's like, 420. Kenny's not coming on today, bro. Kenny's busy.
It's not happening.
He's in his room.
I could only imagine what him and Duddy are doing right now. I assume that both of them are just on a different planet.
Yeah.
Good for them. That's what they
dabbed
out, bro. It's not my bag. The funny thing is we have a studio session after this in Philadelphia. So I'm going to meet the band after this. There's 6 of us. One of us smokes weed, and it's my cousin Eric. So I'm just assuming when I get to the studio, Eric is just going to be.
It's going to be up here. You got to meet them where they're at, you know? So
I got to figure something out, bro.
It could be good. You could get some good shit, man.
We're going to get some trippy shit out of this. Now, I
know think that's great.
Now, before we let you go, there was a couple things. I know Dave has a couple rapid fire questions he wanted to ask you, but there was something.
Let's hit it.
There was something we found out that I do have a question about. So you have a pair of pants in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
I do.
What the fuck is that about?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. They actually I'll just tell you, they're actually my cousin's pants. They're not even my pants. They're my cousin's.
They know this.
Hot scoop.
Well, they know it, but I mean, I was wearing them that day. Okay. So I'll just tell you, they hit us up about any kind of like memorable shows that we had played that, you know, had any kind of like memorabilia. Did I just say that right?
He's closing up around 420. Nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows. It gives a shit. So there was this one show that we played in Okeechobee Fest. Okeechobee, Florida. It was Okeechobee Fest. I think it was 2017. And it's crazy, man. I was like out. It was one of those festivals where it was fucking packed. It was like first year, the shit just blew up, you know? We're like midday, sun's fucking beating down on us. I'm wearing these, like, they got flowers all over these pants. They're like yoga pants. I'm like, it was so fucking hot. I was like, I'm going on stage in yoga pants and that's it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. It was like yoga pants and Doc Martens. That's what I was wearing.
Rockstar shit.
And I'm out in front. I'm out in the middle, you know, the divider where it divides up the people. I'm out there and I'm singing, doing my thing. And I start running back and I fucking hit something. Took a fucking tumble, dude. Get up, brush myself off, run back up to the stage. And we go into, I think it was a sin, I think. Or Fade Away, one of the two. And all of a sudden I just see people start pointing at me. Hey. I'm like, what? I'm like, fuck, did I forget it? Did I just go to start singing the second verse in the first verse or some shit? And because that happens. But no, it was, and then I tasted it, man. And it was fucking just blood started just fucking gushing. It was like I was fucking Iggy Pop or some shit in the 70s, or it was like my Mel Gibson from Braveheart moment, dude.
Rockstar shit right here, dude.
It was insane. Full fucking, I mean, dude, it was like, we're talking like
how many
cow
stitches?
pissing on a flat rock.
How many stitches?
8.
Hell yeah.
8. Yeah, it was pretty wild. And yeah, that's how they got, that's how those pants got in there.
That's a good enough reason.
There's some blood on them, I think, too. So it's good.
It's not sanitary, but it's cool.
There's a funny story about that too. I won't be too long.
No, we have to.
A girl, somebody from Live for Live Music wrote an April Fool's joke about me getting mauled by a tiger on stage, and put those pictures in basically. And dude, you would not believe how many people ask me to this day, dude, what about? How did you got mauled by a tiger on stage? Because she doesn't tell you it's an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
It's just the date there. So it's like it's good. Sometimes I tell them the truth. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
I got
mauled by a tiger.
I got hit by a tiger. Tony fucked me up.
Gotta take that to the grave. From now on, nobody knows that was an April Fool's joke. Just let it go.
Mike Tyson's tiger got you, bro.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Man. Crazy.
So,
anyhow,
wrap the interviews up with a couple of rapid fire questions, and my first one is this: has anybody ever told you look like Matthew McConaughey?
Oh wow.
That's a pretty good compliment.
I've heard it one other time, but I'll take it, brother.
See, that's really funny, though, because I was going to say you got a real McConaughey vibe, and that is a high compliment.
It's not even just how you look. You do look like him, I think.
You got the McConaughey swag.
You do got that McConaughey swag.
Wow. I love you guys.
We really want you to be a part of the video series. So me and Dave have been texting each other the whole time, like, yo, how can we hook them up here?
Dude, it's great. It's fucking hilarious that you mentioned him too. I just watched a video right before this podcast. McConaughey and Snoop singing on the road again in their fucking car, dude. It's fucking great, man.
Dude, if you haven't yet, I just read his book. It's awesome.
He just said he's going to run for governor of Texas, I think.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
I love him. I love him to death.
I'd vote for him if I lived in Texas.
Tell him to come to Philly. Tell him to come to Philly. Tell him to come to Pennsylvania. You can run my state. I don't care.
No, he can run Chicago, actually. He can run Chicago. He would fix it in like overnight. Next one. I don't know what the fuck these two things are really. Cajun or Creole?
Ooh. Cajun or Creole? Creole.
What's the difference? Like, all I know is like Cajun. Like Cajun.
Oh man, that's a tough. It's
one of those things that you know it if you see it, right? It's like kind of like you know it if you see it.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, we'll have a follow up on this one.
Yeah.
Are you a Saints fan or are you like a Browns fan?
Well, I grew up in Cincinnati, so I would have been a Bengals fan. But I'm a Bengals boy. But I would say I'm a Saints fan for sure.
Okay, so Sean Payton or Drew Brees? Like gun to head, you had to pick one. The other one like vanishes from the face of the earth.
Man, people are gonna disown me for saying this, but Sean Payton.
Ooh. Well, I mean, you still have Sean Payton, so there you go.
True.
I mean, I love Drew Brees, but like I like Sean Payton for a few reasons.
Have you ever met Sean Payton?
I have not.
I heard he hangs out in like what's a main street?
Bourbon Street.
Oh, Bourbon Street. What am I saying? Yeah, Bourbon Street. Like off of Bourbon Street, there's like dive bars. I heard he hangs out like
Frenchman Street.
He's been known. He's been known to frequent a few of those.
Seems like he
some
tips
trouble too.
Seems like he tips a few back. I can hang out with Sean Payton.
Yeah. He gets. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then
sure.
The last one I got, this isn't really rapid fire, so I got a white whale guest. About a year, probably a little over a year ago, I still like one of my favorite genre styles of music is like Louisiana blues, whether it's old school, new school, whatever. Yep. I love it. I like guitar driven bluesy music. That's my shit. And there's this dude that he's starting to duck us, so he's kind of on my shit list now because I'm a petty asshole. But his name's Eric Lindell. Have you heard of him?
Eric Lindell. Yeah, I know Eric Lindell very well. Yeah.
He's in the band Dragonstone now.
Dragon Smoke.
You do that every time, bro.
Maybe that's why he's ducking you, bro.
Ooh,
you call his band Dragonstone?
Stuck in my head. It's Game of Thrones.
Stop watching Game of Thrones.
What's his deal? Like, why is he not more well known? Because I think his music is awesome. It's so
good. He's great, man. He's awesome. I that's just one of those things where I don't know. And I think he's very well known, like regionally.
Right.
But as far as, and also I think he has like his pockets where he's very well known. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he should be. For
everyone has their moment, bro. You never know. It could be 5 years from now, and all of a sudden he's just popping off.
That's true. Yeah, that too.
He's older guy, right? Like he's like in his 50s, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He's got he's got some kids. He's been doing it. He has been doing it,
dude. He's straight by you.
There's two names I want to throw out there
time.
when you think about this. When you think about, all right, somebody's a little bit older, think about Lee Fields and think about Charles Bradley.
Yep.
Those guys were pushing 70 almost, and then all of a sudden,
boom.
Who knows, man? You never fucking know. By the way, Dave, if you don't know Lee Fields or Charles Bradley, take a time, bro, because that's
for sure. Lee Fields actually opened for us in Las Vegas.
I love Lee Fields, man.
Dude, what a show. What a showman. Oh my God.
We have a buddy of ours from Philly who played bass for him on a couple European tours. And I love Lee Fields and the Expressions. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. I saw Charles Bradley. Let's see here. I saw Charles Bradley on Jam Cruise.
Ooh.
It was right when it was like that first record that came out that kind of like popped him. And dude, he was like, it was amazing the way he moved and the way he did a split on stage and like dropped the mic down. I mean, it was like, this dude was like moving like a fucking 20-year-old and he's like 65. And he was sweating his fucking ass off. And it was just like, it was amazing, dude.
Some people are just born to do it. And David, you are one of those people, my man. And we really cannot thank you enough for being here today.
Dude, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. This is a great convo.
Now I will say this. You are contractually obligated. This is a verbal contract. You have to help Dave. You have to help.
I say it publicly now.
Yep.
What do you need, man? What do you need?
I need that guitar that you were showing off before.
Shit.
And we're gonna just sit in this little. You said this is in your backyard. You got a little studio in your backyard.
Ooh, a little cigar box.
This is what you need, bro. It's a little out of tune, but
it's all good. This sounds fucking great. Well, what we're going to have you do, we are finding different people to teach Dave different things. We're going to cross paths at some point in the next year. You're our stage presence guy. You are our stage presence guy.
I just decided we're gonna throw a festival with all the bands. So we're talking OAR, Foo Fighters, Revivalists, Corey Wong.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Wolfpack, Dirty Heads.
Let's do it.
Dirty Heads, and we're just gonna throw a festival. Like, no, it'll be like Woodstock. We'll just like find a cornfield somewhere.
And the best part
Dude.
is Dave